Emulation and HYPERSPIN. What is HYPERSPIN? HYPERSPIN is a completely free front-end graphics-based management system for Windows and home game cabinets, allowing you to organize and run all your retro games quickly and easily. It lets you create custom menu layouts with custom or stock images and videos, favoring illustrations over text to give you that distinctive arcade look and immersive feel. In this video we will talk about whether we need this manager for our retro games, also Rocket Launcher, and we will answer the questions that most users ask. Before starting the video, I invite you to leave a like and subscribe to my channel to see more content like this. Without further ado, let's get started with the video. Do I need HYPERSPIN for my retro games? Not really. HYPERSPIN, or any front menu system, isn't absolutely necessary for playing your retro games, but it does make the experience vastly more enjoyable. Without it, you would need to download and install all your emulators and ROMs individually, and then know the location of all these apps and files. Simply loading a ROM to play games would be a task that puts us in a very bad mood, since it consists of making numerous clicks and long searches through folders and files. With a HYPERSPIN setup, you will be seen in a stylish presentation with a user-friendly interface. Your available systems will be displayed in an easy-to-navigate menu. When the desired system is selected, the games for that machine will manifest in a similar graphical form. What is a rocket launcher? Is it necessary? Rocket Launcher, formerly called HyperLaunch, is a program that runs alongside HYPERSPIN, and its main function is to increase the ease of use for launching emulators and the experience for playing games. It also expands the options you have when using these emulators. Essentially, it's the rear of the front end, and it removes all of the heavy lifting from HYPERSPIN. This was originally created to work with arcade MAME applications. Setting up and starting just a few emulators is not that complicated, but as the number of machines you want to play on increases, the whole process can become complicated and confusing. With Rocket Launcher running in the background, HYPERSPIN will be able to launch a huge variety of different machines, including most of the retro consoles you want to remember, as well as your favorite retro computers like the Amiga and Atari ST, the ones from the 80s. They know it well. At the click of a button. So is Rocket Launcher necessary? We could say yes, as it eliminates a lot of the headaches associated with launching games and emulators with just HYPERSPIN. Technically you don't need it, but if you want to save yourself undue stress, it's highly recommended. What systems can I run with HYPERSPIN? This is a question that is usually asked with all front-end management systems. In the case of HYPERSPIN, you have everything at your fingertips. The developers of HYPERSPIN claim that you can play almost any system for which there is an emulator, and this is quite commendable, since it is the emulator that actually runs the ROMs, and HYPERSPIN simply gives you a conduit to run it. HYPERSPIN and Emu Movies is the premier source for acquiring any retro gaming media you want. From video snapshots to retro in-game music, Emu Movies makes it possible. The good news is that HYPERSPIN has joined forces with Emu Movies to make transferring and setting up your media files as seamless as possible. Unfortunately, there is an additional cost for this service. However, while it is worth paying for such a service, it is completely optional and not required to run HYPERSPIN. However, it greatly enhances your experience and makes your setup look even more authentic and professional. There are a few purchase plans to choose from, so obviously you should choose the one that is best for your pocket. Whichever you choose, I would recommend it, as it will add the finishing touch to your retro gaming setup just the way you'd like it to be. Besides HYPERSPIN, what other alternatives are there? There are plenty of other retro gaming front-end management systems for you to play around with. As always, the last thing to choose comes down to our personal tastes. They each have their own individual characteristics that you can either love or hate. Some are free and some have free elements with the option to upgrade and order the full package. In any other way, the choice is yours, but I recommend that you try and analyze several before deciding to fully commit to one. Here's some information on some of the more popular front ends out there. Big Blue, for example, this front-end management system is slightly toned down from HYPERSPIN. It doesn't have the wow factor of eye-candy graphics, whiz-bang sound effects and flashy video snapshots that HYPERSPIN exhibits, but what it does have is function over form. The entire app is fully optimized and extremely easy to use, plus it comes with a fantastic search feature where you can provide the criteria yourself and you will be presented with a list that includes all the games for every installed machine, obviously depending on your convenience. Search. It's freely available, fast, and easy to set up. On the other hand, we have an administrator called Launchbox or Big Box. Unlike Big Blue, Launchbox is a retro game interface that sings and dances. The presentation of this app is fantastic and the overall ease of setup and use is second to none. The drawback of Launchbox is that it is the free version and not the full version. The full version comes in the form of a big box and it will cost you to upgrade. The cost of the package depends on the option you choose. RetroFay. Here we have a highly customizable front-end management system that is a direct competitor to HYPERSPIN. You need to have some coding knowledge to create your customizations, however it is still completely usable out of the box. It's free to download and set up, although a subscription to Emu Movies is recommended but not essential. Do I need to have any prior coding knowledge before setting up HYPERSPIN? HYPERSPIN is by no means the easiest application to configure, and there are many factors to go through to get the configuration you want. The inclusion of Rocket Launcher helps to avoid some of these pitfalls, but there are a number of applications that you need on your computer for all emulators to work properly. Regarding the coding, it is necessary to rename some files, create some shortcuts, file folders and modify some of the configuration files. None of this is too demanding and there are plenty of tutorials on YouTube to guide you the right way. What do I need to have before installing HYPERSPIN? There are a few things we need to install on our computer before setting up HYPERSPIN. Most of these things you probably already have, and besides, they're probably not worth checking out right now. Just keep in mind if you need to fix any issues later. Also, some of these apps may only be needed to run certain emulators, so not having them at first may not be a major issue for your setup. What you may need is 7-zip, DirectX 9 or higher, the latest drivers for your graphics card, an up-to-date version of Java, the .NET Framework, Visual Studio, and OpenAL. These are the main things to take into account, in case you want to have this type of administrators and that they work optimally. Can HYPERSPIN run on a Mac? Unfortunately not. HYPERSPIN can only be run on a Windows operating system. There are alternatives to HYPERSPIN that can run on Mac OS. The most popular one for you to consider is OpenEMU, which incorporates many of the features that are included in HYPERSPIN. This is an open-source game emulator specifically designed for Mac OS X. It is a multi-system emulator, which means that it can emulate various consoles, such as Nintendo, Game Boy, Genesis, and so on. Its latest version 2.0 can even emulate physical controls like Xbox. Its main features include accelerated graphics, scaling and effects. We have reached the end of this video. We hope you have been able to learn a little more about HYPERSPIN during this tour. Did you already know this administrator? Have you tried another emulator? What experience did they have? Leave your opinion in the comments. If you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe to this channel to see more similar videos and activate the notification bell so YouTube will notify you when we upload a new video.